Well, I know I want to come and win the belt, but obviously I want to have an entertaining fight. Don't want to have a boring fight, lads. And I think it's impossible when Justin Gaethje's in the other corner. You know what I mean? You can't not have a good fight when you're fighting Justin Gaethje. So, but I think everyone's going to be shocked, to be honest, because I think I'm going to knock him out. So people won't expect that. People think I'm just going to try and grapple and take him down when I'm not. I'm going to come out and I'm going to put it on.
Are you going to nickname Justin Gaethje?
Nothing.
That was easy. Hey cheese.
Hey cheese. Nah, I'm not going to make that stupid mistake James Vick did and call him Homer Simpson and get knocked out. So, to me, he's a legend, lad, and I'm not going to disrespect.
That makes him vulnerable to a degree. Now, of course, on the feet, nevertheless, you're still going to favor him heavily over Paddy, but Paddy's very good at achieving the back and then maintaining the back. He's big for the weight class, which is kind of surprising me coming up from featherweight. He's really filled out as a lightweight. You know, he is certainly vulnerable on the feet, but just watching Gaethje just really not invest in his ground game.
Paddy looked great against Bobby Green. That was a really quick fight. He looked great against Michael Chandler, but Michael Chandler was on a decline. I just think that Paddy, this is his best chance. We talked about Gaethje. This is also Paddy's best chance of winning a title, because I don't think he would have fared well against Ilya or Sarukian either, but this is his best chance of winning a title, and I don't even really see it being all that close.
You see this being a dominant Justin Gaethje stoppage win? You reckon he catches him here, Dean?
I think he catches him. I think that Justin Gaethje I think a guy like Paddy's tailor-made for him. You know, he moves well, but I think that, you know, if Justin Gaethje, especially if he gets back to those leg kicks, and, you know, he's been looking better on his feet in terms of his movement itself. But, you know, when he gets rolling downhill, man, it's hard for anybody to keep up with him. I think Justin Gaethje wins this.
It's really, really hard fight to pick, because Justin's a really hard guy to prepare for. You can't just spar with your friends and your teammates in the cage and think you're ready for a Justin Gaethje fight. You have to get out of your element and have guys get in your face and stand in the pocket and come after you, so you can get ready for this kind of pace and this kind of pressure. If Paddy does that, he'll be able to make adjustments and learn how to deal with someone like Justin in his training camp. But if he waits for the night of the fight, you know, it could be too late for a guy like Justin.
Well, what a freaking segue, Eddie. I don't know if you realize this. The show's going to come.
From fight IQ and pressure to how each man reacts under fire, everyone has an opinion on Paddy Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje, with some believing Paddy's confidence and relentless pace could catch Justin off guard, while others argue Gaethje's power and experience make it a nightmare matchup, leaving fans already divided and debating exactly how this fight will end.
I think 5 rounds. This is the common take. Everybody gonna say that, not only me. But if Justin Gaethje doesn't stop him on the beginning, he's going to lose. I think everybody thinks like that. And I think Paddy Pimblett will beat Justin Gaethje. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think he's gonna submit him, bro.
But I don't think the odds are right.
What are the odds right
Paddy
now?
Pimblett minus 200 or minus 250.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't
think it should be closer.
That should be even, right?
I don't think so. I think I think Justin Gaethje is the perfect matchup for Paddy, bro. You know, he's a tough guy. He can brawl, but Paddy hasn't been
Luke Thomas believes the betting odds will tighten as the fight gets closer, noting that while Justin is currently the underdog, that gap could shrink once people re-examine his recent run, including his last big win and the cumulative damage from years of wars, which have slowed him just enough to make him more catchable and give Paddy real opportunities in this matchup.
No, maybe first of all, the line's gonna. The line certainly will move to a degree. I suspect it will narrow a little bit as we get closer. So the degree to which Justin is an underdog now, that might narrow to where we're asking a question about very, you know, a different kind of odds situation, but not necessarily. I mean, the last, you know, his last win, or no, sorry, his last good win. I mean, the physique win was nice, but the good win was, of course, the same day as Crawford Spence, July of 2023, when he beat Dustin. And of course, he's only fought twice since then, but we had that devastating loss to Max. What I'm trying to make is, the dude's got a ton of miles on him. You could have argued prior to that he might have been kind of peaked. He certainly peaked and slowing down to a degree. I think definitely he's still a viable guy, and I think he is a dangerous threat, but I don't think anyone would argue this is the very best version of him, nor the freshest.
Even with those concerns, Luke Thomas still sees Justin as the clear favorite on the feet because his striking operates on a different level. But he also warned against overlooking Paddy, pointing out that Pimblett excels at taking, and controlling the back has grown into a large, physical lightweight, and could neutralize Justin for extended stretches if he secures those positions.
That makes him vulnerable to a degree. Now, of course, on the feet, nevertheless, you're still going to favor him heavily over Paddy, but Paddy's very good at achieving the back and then maintaining the back. He's big for the weight class, which has kind of surprised me coming up from featherweight. He's really filled out as a lightweight. He is certainly vulnerable on the feet, but just watching Gaethje just really not invest in his ground game, and more to the point, like watching Khabib, if you recall what he did in that takedown that Khabib got him in, where he finally submitted him, he shoots the takedown and Justin sprawls. It's a good sprawl.
Renato Moicano believes this is a much tougher fight than many expect, and says he genuinely sees a path for Paddy to win, especially if it goes the distance, arguing that Justin could struggle the longer it lasts, as Pimblett is strong, durable, and dangerous on the ground, with underrated submission skills that could catch a brawler like Gaethje off guard, making the betting odds misleading in his view because Paddy is young, hard to finish, and has never been knocked out, creating a matchup that is far closer on paper than most people think.
I think 5 rounds. If this is the common take, everybody gonna say that, not only me, but if Justin Gaethje doesn't stop him on the beginning, he's going to lose. I think everybody thinks like that, and I think Paddy Pimblett will beat Justin Gaethje. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think he's gonna submit him, bro.
But I don't think the odds are right.
What are the odds right
Paddy
now?
Pimblett minus 200 or minus 250.
Yeah.
So I don't
it should
think
be closer.
that should be even, right?
I don't think so. I think
No?
I think Justin Gaethje is the perfect matchup for Paddy, bro. He's a tough guy. He can brawl, but Paddy hasn't been chinned before.
Dan Thomas described Paddy as a crafty fighter with a strong and evolving skill set, noting his willingness to fight off his back, use his length effectively with kicks, and intelligently set up attacks, making him a legitimate threat if he can survive Justin's early power. But he also emphasized that Gaethje brings unmatched violence and pressure. And while Paddy has the tools to compete, Justin's experience in striking at a higher level make it extremely difficult. For Paddy to truly take control of the fight,
I don't think it's going to be that close at all. I mean, Paddy Pimblett's crafty. He's a crafty fighter. He's got a very strong skill set. He's not afraid to fight off of his back. He doesn't wrestle all that well, but he uses his length well in terms of his kicks. But I just think the amount of violence that Justin Gaethje brings to the fight is going to be too much for Paddy. I mean, we saw what Paddy did against Jared Gordon, and a lot of people think he lost that fight. And Justin Gaethje is not Jared Gordon. You know what I'm saying?
Bone called the matchup an absolute banger, explaining that Justin's path to victory lies in high volume, constant pressure, and heavy leg kicks to slow Paddy's lead leg, while also noting that although Pimblett can make defensive mistakes, his ability to scramble, create chaos, and use his high-level jiu-jitsu makes him dangerous, especially on the ground where Justin has shown vulnerability, giving Paddy a real chance to turn the fight competitive if he applies his grappling effectively.
It's awesome. There's no way I don't think Gaethje versus Pimblett's going to be an absolute banger. When you start thinking about that, how do you see it kind of going down?
Yeah, I started going over this matchup even with my sons. My sons are training pretty heavily, and when these matchups pop up, we're in the living room for an hour and a half, playing devil's advocate, going back and forth with each other. But look, I think the key to the fight for Gaethje is just to create a lot of volume against someone like Paddy, a lot of volume. The leg kick's going to be everything to take away Paddy's lead leg. to stop the onslaught. But like Paddy makes a lot of mistakes, right? So like he's susceptible to getting knocked out. But he's great in the scrambles, like amazing at scrambles and also amazing at creating them. If Justin had a weakness, like if I said, hey, Justin, we want to attack him here, make sure, it would be his jiu-jitsu. He has great wrestling. He has great stand-up, and he's starting to get more defensive, like minded, where he's able to throw shots and not get hit. If he had a weakness, it'd be jiu-jitsu, you know, and that's where Paddy's strong. So it's really hard fight to pick because Justin's a really hard guy to prepare for.
Mike emphasized that standard training won't be enough to prepare for Justin, saying Paddy must simulate Gaethje's relentless aggression in camp so he can make adjustments before fight night, because waiting to adapt in the cage could be too late, while proper preparation could allow Paddy to disrupt Justin's rhythm, make him uncomfortable, and create openings to use his skills effectively.